Okay, today we're going to cover drawing an electrical plan in Revit. So we're going to cover receptacles, we're going to cover lighting fixtures, we're going to cover the wiring, and an electrical box. So it'll be a pretty simple workflow. There's really just, this is probably the best way to create a small electrical plan for a small house. So we're going to first go to your ceiling plan. We want to make sure that we have a ceiling for these lighting fixtures to mount to. We're going to do recessed can lights throughout this. So the first thing we're going to do is first create a ceiling if you don't have one already. So you're going to go to the ceiling tool under architecture, and you could either use an automatic ceiling or sketch your own. So simply by mousing over these, you can generate a ceiling. So I'm going to use gypsum wallboard on metal stud, and I've already created them. So just clicking on these will generate a ceiling at this height above your, in this case, finished floor. So you can do that automatically, or you can sketch your own. You can, once it's created, you can add a pitch to it if needed. But we're going to leave it flat right now. So that's in my ceiling plan. Then I'm going to go back to my floor plan. So this floor plan has furniture and other entourage that I don't necessarily need in this drawing. So I'm going to duplicate the floor plan. So I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to say duplicate view and duplicate. We don't need the detailing necessarily to come along on this drawing. So we're gonna have this copy, and this is going to be our electrical plan. So you can right click it, say rename, and you're going to rename it to electrical plan. If you have multiple stories, you would also name it that story. I've already named my electrical plan. So I'm just going to give this a unique name. Okay, so the electrical plan is really a two-step process, setting this up so that Revit recognizes it properly. So again, we've just duplicated our floor plan. And that two-step process, the first thing we're going to do is change the view range, and the second step is to set the discipline to electrical. So those two steps will set up the view the way we need it, so that it comes in terms of visibility, it'll be what we want. So first step, we're going to go down to view range, click edit, and you're going to set the top offset to 0, everything else 0, and you can leave the cut plane at 4 feet. Except the top, we're going to change that to the level above. So in my case, it's the top of plates. You can do the same thing. Whatever the level above is, set that. So 0, 4 feet, and the rest 0. Then hit OK. So nothing will change, but once we change this, so step 2 is going to be scroll up under properties and find the discipline tab, and you're going to set that from architecture to electrical. And by doing that, we're going to be able to view the drawing the way it's intended as an electrical drawing. So we've set the view range and discipline. Now we can go in and we can add lighting to the ceiling in our ceiling plan. So in our RCP, we can go in. The first thing we're going to do is load families. So we're going to go to Insert, Load Family, go to Lighting, Architectural, Internal, and we'll find, let's see, we'll use this recessed lamp round, and I'll use a 3-inch trimmed downlight. So once that's loaded, we can go in and I can start adding the lighting into the ceiling. So I'm going to hide this for now. And I can go to architecture component and start dropping in the lighting that we just loaded. I'm going to find the recessed lamp. You'll notice that it's not letting me drop this on the ceiling, so I have to say place on face, and that's important. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. I can array them, so I'll click on one, click array. If I want to copy multiple, I'll do 3 total here. And I'll leave this on move to the second. I'm just going to move these over 4 feet. When I'm done, I hit enter. I can copy these, CO for short. I'm going to move these over 4 feet. It's a little too much. We'll move these over 1 foot. MV, and then 1 foot. Alright, so once those are where I want them, the next thing I want to load, so if I go back to my electrical plan, now they're showing up. So those can lights are now visible in this view. So I also want to load a switch, so we'll load a dimmer switch among others. So I'm going to go back to Insert, Load Family, and I'm going to find under Electrical, go to Architectural, Electrical Power Terminals, and we can load our receptacles, so GFI, we can add a range, dimmer switch, single switch, and I'll add a double switch, and I'm going to hit open. So I was holding control as I was clicking each of those. So now with those loaded, I can now go back to Architecture Component, CM for short, and I can load any of these switches. So I wanted a dimmer switch. So I come down to switch, dimmer, and as I mouse over the wall, this is a wall dependent family, so I can mouse over where I want it and then click. And again, I'm working in my electrical plan that I had duplicated from my floor plan. Okay, so I want this switch to control all of these can lights. So I'm going to create a dashed line similar to this that connects them all together on one circuit. So I'm going to create a detail line, so DL for short. Otherwise, you can go to Annotate, Detail Line, and I'm going to make a partial ellipse. I'm going to use a dashed line, so if this doesn't load with your file, you can just go to Manage, Additional Settings, Line Styles, and we're just going to create a dashed line here. So expand that, click on New, and we'll say dashed line. And then we'll give it the dash that we're looking for. So if you just come down to dash, that should be enough. Okay, so now when we go to modify, we're creating this partial ellipse. We'll find that dashed line that we just created. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to connect all of these, and I'm just going to draw an arc connecting each one. Okay, so now this switch is, per this diagram or this drawing, it's controlling these can lights. Okay, so adding receptacles is also just as easy. We're going to go to Architecture Component, and we're going to find the receptacles that we loaded. So if I want to GFI, I can go in my kitchen and add these where needed. Okay, so you can go around the project. They'll show up. This view is nice since it's in the electrical discipline. It's creating a halftone for all the walls and furniture. We can go in and hide those as well if we like, but for now this is okay. So the last thing we're going to do is load the electrical panel. So if we go to Load Family, that's under Electrical, MEP, Electrical Power, Distribution, and we'll find a single phase panel, 120 volts. Hit Open, and now we can drop that in. So we can go to Architecture Component, find that. I'm going to use a 100 amp and just place it here on the exterior in the back. And I'm going to annotate it. So I'm going to add text. So annotate text with a leader. I'm going to say electrical panel. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.